Let's take a look at a few techniques for printing your worksheets. Now, when you want to print your worksheet, come up to File and choose Print. Now, you no longer have the print preview here because when you click on Print, you see your print preview right here. You can come out and turn on your margins using this button here. You can also zoom in and zoom out using the little button on the right. Now, you might be in a situation where you're printing a worksheet. You'll look down here and you'll see that you're printing, in my case, currently page 1 of 8. And if I use my scroll bar here, and I use the roller scroll wheel, or I can just click on the slider itself, I will go from page to page. And you might end up with something like this, where you're getting just the rightmost column of your worksheet not fitting. In other words, I really have 4 pages, but because it's so wide, these last 2 little columns out here are spitting out on other pages. If I go back here and take a look at my home, I can see that I'd like to have this whole thing printed and not have it cut off right here. So what are my options for making this happen? Well, first of all, you could come out here and change the orientation from, in my case, portrait to landscape. And I think that would help us out. But if that's not an option, where you want to stay fitted for portrait, what you might want to do is come all the way down here and take a look at this no scaling option. And if you click the drop down arrow, you'll see that it gives you currently no scaling. You can fit everything on one page, which I think would make it pretty small. If you're having columns that spell out on the right, you can have all the columns fit 1 page wide, multiple pages long, or you could have all the rows fit on 1 page, which would give you horizontally possibly more columns, but everything fits horizontally instead of vertically. It's just basically the reverse of this. Or you could come out and you could go into custom scaling if you want. Now I'm going to go ahead and choose fit all columns on 1 page, and watch over here how this changes from 1 of 8 to 1 of 4. Now what this has done, it's basically shrunk this thing up this way just until the columns all fit. And now when I come back down in here and I take a look at this, I can see that everything is fitting horizontally on 4 pages. Now basically what's happening here is it's gone ahead and it's zoomed the print view down by a few points, just like when we're out here using the zoom tool out here to zoom the view on our screen. You have the same zoom percentage type tools when you print. So let's take a look at those. If I come out to File and go back out here to Print, I went out here and I fit 1 page, fit all columns on 1 page, if you remember that. Well, at the bottom of this is something called Custom Scaling Options. And if you click on that, you're going to get this little dialog box, and you can see where it says Adjust To. That's basically your scaling tool. And we scaled this thing down by 14% to 86 to make the whole thing fit horizontally. You could have done this by hand. You could have gone out here and adjusted it as you would like. You can also have this thing fit 1 page wide by so many pages tall if you like. You can custom fit it that way. Little note here, after you've done this, I would recommend coming back in and switching this back to Adjust To instead of leaving it to Fit To. This will save you a few headaches when you go in and start plugging in page breaks down the way. Because if you leave it as a Fit To 1 pages wide by so many pages tall, it's always going to want to do that last, so you might not get the page breaks that you want. So I'm going to come back here and click on the Adjust To 86% under the custom scaling options down here at the bottom.